Back in January of this year, Roma made the decision to relieve manager Jose Mourinho from his duties with the side sitting in 9th place in the league. This came after another disappointing result against AC Milan, which made it just 4 points from their last 5 league matches, combined with their elimination from the Coppa Italia in a defeat to bitter rivals Lazio. However, despite the increasing pressure and criticism directed towards the Portuguese manager for the side's poor form, it was a bold decision to be taken by the club's board. Indeed, Mourinho had established himself as a fan favourite in the eyes of many fans, with the manager guiding the side to their first trophy since 2007-08 season, winning the Europa Conference League in 2022. He then followed this by reaching the Europa League final in 2023, only to be narrowly beaten on penalties by Sevilla. And while the magic between Mourinho and some fans began to wear off this season with poor results and performances, partly due to a raft of injuries and summer transfers which hadn't worked out, the announcement still hit hard, with mass demonstrations at the club stadium in appreciation to Mourinho and a tearful goodbye to the fans by a manager who had done so much for the club since his appointment in 2021. Following the bold decision of the club owners to sack Mourinho, they needed to act swiftly and cleverly to replace the outgoing manager with someone the fans could truly get behind. And that they did, with the appointment of club legend Daniele De Rossi within just a few days. As they say, all roads lead to Rome, and for Daniele De Rossi it was a return back to his home. Over the course of an 18-year playing career, De Rossi would make the second most appearances for the club at 616 and scoring 63 goals for Giallorossi. He would leave in 2019 for a brief stint at Boca Juniors in Argentina, to an emotional farewell from the fans who had come to love De Rossi as a second son of Rome alongside Francesco Totti. Indeed, from the perspective of a fan favourite management appointment, Roma could not have done much better than De Rossi. But what about his actual management credentials? Well, the Italian midfielder made his intentions to become a coach clear following his retirement in 2020, embarking on a UEFA A licence course in December of that year. He would then accept a job as part of Roberto Mancini's coaching setup for the national team, where he would contribute to Italy's triumphs at Euro 2020 before continuing his coaching courses at the Italian Football Federation. With a whetted appetite to test himself within a management position, in September 2022, the budding De Rossi would take his first role in the second division at Spa. However, the experience was not a good one, with many of the side's top players sold off, and without the opportunity for a full pre-season, De Rossi's side would struggle, earning just 15 points from 16 games before his sacking just 4 months on, in February 2022, with the club sitting in 18th place. It was certainly not a tenure to remember, and with De Rossi licking the wounds of his painful first outing in management, it would be almost a year until his next opportunity would arise. Despite the reputation he holds amongst Roma fans, De Rossi's arrival was met with a level of scepticism. To some it felt too soon and too big a risk at this stage of his journey in management, while others still felt an attachment to Mourinho, evidenced by the flags honouring the Portuguese former manager in De Rossi's first game. However, it could hardly have gone better for the Italian manager. From an initial 2-1 victory against Hellas Verona, his Roma side have been on an impressive run, only losing twice at time of recording, once to league leaders Inter Milan and a second leg to Brighton in the Europa League following a 4-0 triumph in the first. De Rossi has collected 2.44 points per game with a 77.8 win percentage, the highest collected in Europe so far. Meanwhile, the Giallorossi have scored 23 goals so far. With the side sitting in 5th place now, just behind high flyers Bologna, it's safe to say Roma have been transformed under the Italian manager. As the data suggests, Roma have been an incredibly attacking and deadly side. Paulo Dybala in particular has been a star, putting in man of the match performances for Roma alongside the likes of Romelu Lukaku. Meanwhile, De Rossi has reinvigorated the performances of players who are clearly committed to the cause, namely Lorenzo Pellegrini, who has thrived in a freer midfield role, and Spinazzola, who has given Roma the balance and dynamism they were lacking earlier in the season. Credit should also be given to De Rossi in the range of players he has given the opportunity to show their worth to him and the team. It's brought the emergence of Sevilla as his #1 goalkeeper, who has rewarded the faith De Rossi has shown in him. Ultimately, Roma have been a side resurrected under De Rossi, unshackled and set free, and wholly committed to a manager who is passionate about the club and his players. These are exciting times for Roma. While there is still a long way to go in the season, it will certainly be interesting to see what they achieve come the end. One thing is for certain, De Rossi seems to have shown his worth to be the permanent manager of his childhood team,